He led me into the bedroom and he shoved me on the bed. And I was trying to get him off of me.
What were you trying to do to get him off?
Punching him, kicking him, just trying to get him away from me. And he took my hands and he put them over my head. And he got on top of me and he raped me.
I'm going to ask you to go back and start again and tell us how the conversation went with Annabella Sciorra.
I told her, "Hey, Annabella, you want to hang out?" And she responded in a very weird voice, like she was whispering like this. I said, "What's wrong with you?" And she said, "I think something bad happened." And I said, "What do you mean something bad happened? What happened?" And she said, "I think I was raped." And the way she said it was so strange because she was still whispering. And she said, "I think I was raped," and her voice started shaking. And I said to her, "Do you think, or did it happen?" And she goes, "I think it was rape," and she started crying. And I said, "Well, who did it? Do you know who did it?" And she said, I can't, and I could hear her crying.
He held me down on the bed, and he forced himself on me orally. I was on my period. I had a tampon in there. I mean, I was mortified.
So what did he do?
He forced himself on me orally. He put his mouth on my vagina. I kept trying to tell him, no, don't go there, don't do that. I said, I'm on my period, I have a tampon in there, and it was as if he didn't believe me. He literally pulled my tampon out.
He opened the door, I walked in, and on the coffee table, I noticed 3 stacks of paper. He kind of just cut to the chase and said, here's contracts for my next 3 films. I'll sign them today if you have a threesome with me and my assistant. When he said that, I laughed. I thought he was kidding, and he had kind of a crass sense of humor. But when I started laughing, he got really angry and started screaming at me. He said, "You'll never make it in this business. This is how this industry works." I don't have a vivid memory of exactly, but I remember after I was laid down and he was on top of me and I said, "I can't." And he said he had a vasectomy, and I just went blank and looked off. He put himself inside me and he raped me, and I just remember getting up, I don't remember from that moment between. I just remember getting up after.
His eyes changed and he was not there. They were very black, and he ripped me up from my chair, from the table, and he was screaming, you owe me one more time. And he was dragging me into the bedroom. He sort of threw me down on the edge of the bed, and he was demanding that I take off my clothes, and I was begging him. I said, no, please, no, because I've already been with my boyfriend. And he said, I don't have time for the games. I had no strength. And he grabbed both of my ankles, and he pulled me so hard down by my ankles that I flew back. He pushed my legs apart and put his mouth on my vagina, and he started to lick my vagina, and then he stopped and he said something, I don't know what he said, and then he came at me to get on top of me, and then he penetrated me.